Hello, English 1101. I hope your summer is going well. This is an overview of the guidelines and rubric documents as well as the structure and media bank documents for the rhetorical analysis. In week 4, we are moving into the rhetorical analysis and the study of rhetoric part of the course, and with that is this major assignment. As a quick reminder, this is under content and then guidelines and rubrics. And so again, there are 4 documents related to this major assignment. You will need to review all of these. So let's start with the guidelines. So due dates at the top, purpose, skills, and knowledge. You will see that in all of my guidelines. This section answers the question of why are you doing this? What kind of skills will you gain from this, and what kind of knowledge will you gain from this? The task is simply laid out here for you. You'll start with choosing your video from the media bank. The media bank is a list of videos that you choose from to write your rhetorical analysis. You must choose from this list. I want to be very clear about this. You can't pick a video or ad or any media that is not on the list. You must do your rhetorical analysis, must write it based on now analyzing one of these videos. So we will do that in the 4th part of this video. After you choose your video, you will analyze the video. You'll write an essay that is an analysis paper, and you need to give evidence in your analysis and be very specific. How do you be specific? How are you specific? You will simply just use timestamps. So you can either write something like at the 2-minute and 30-second mark, or a really simple way to do it is put it in parentheses. Just put the minute and second where the content occurs that your evidence points to. So I'll talk about that in another video, but that's all you have to do. There's no there's no MLA in-text citation required for this. There's no outside research. Your only source is the video you choose. So you are using your knowledge that you learn from the modules about rhetoric and the rhetorical appeals, the 3 rhetorical appeals, and you are using that to analyze the video. You will not do any outside research. So because of that, there's really no need to do any MLA in-text citations for research because there's no research. So what you'll do, your only source is the video. So all you need to do is just put a minute and second time stamp. So 7:20, that would be the 7-minute and 20-second mark, and you would put that at the end of a direct quote or a paraphrase or a analysis of a very particular point in the video. I'm not concerned again with MLA format for your in-text. I just want to make sure you point it out to me where your analysis is occurring in the video. So if you're analyzing a particular part that's only like 30 seconds of the video, or maybe it's just like a brief moment, I need to know where that occurs in the video. Thirdly, you need to evaluate the media's effectiveness. So that means how was it persuasive and why? And you will look for that part. You will want to rely on your knowledge of the 3 rhetorical appeals: ethos, pathos, and logos. And it's really important that you review the lessons on rhetoric in this week. There are a lot of lessons, but it sets you up for success for this paper. But you must understand rhetoric to do this paper. Criteria for success. You can read through these later, but I'll review a couple of these. You need a strong thesis, so a thesis is required for this. Typically, that's at the end of your intro paragraph, like the last sentence. It will always be in your intro paragraph. It's either going to be last sentence or maybe second to last sentence. But that you need a strong thesis that goes beyond saying this video is persuasive. That's not a thesis, okay? You need to tell me why it's persuasive. Why is it impactful? Okay? Why is it convincing in your thesis statement? Next week there will be a lesson on thesis statements, and particularly writing a thesis for a rhetorical analysis. So look through these criteria. The full criteria will be in the rubric. And again, this is MLA format. As far as formatting, you don't need to do in-text citations or a works cited, but you just need to do MLA name block, Times New Roman, 12-point font, double spaced, all that stuff. And if you don't know what MLA format is, under Resource Writing Center and Resources on the home page, in that box, you will see, which is at the center but towards the bottom of the page, you will see an MLA handout, a formatting handout from the Writing Center. So look at that if you want to know exactly what MLA format is. Okay, so moving on here to the rubric. 20 points is essentially your thesis, but also, like, did you stay focused the entire paper on analyzing the content and not writing an argument paper? You're not writing an argument paper about Apple and why it's a good or a bad company. You're not writing about Nike. You're not taking a hard stance. You're not making an argument. What you're doing is analyzing the effectiveness and the persuasiveness of the media you select. That's simply as I can put it. If you start drifting into an argument paper that's very opinionated, that's not focused on the content, but provides your opinion and goes beyond analysis, that will lose you some points, because that is not what a rhetorical analysis is. So you stay on message. That's what that's about. I've just mentioned about you are really focused on telling us why it's effective and persuasive, but you do not argue for or against the product or issue, okay, or the company. Keep that in mind. Okay, and I will say, while I mention that, all of the videos in the media bank that we will look at shortly, all of those are effective. Every single one of them is highly persuasive in their own ways, so don't worry about, none of these are weak, okay? So I've set you up for success with that. They all succeed in their own ways, and they're all unique, but they're all persuasive. So moving on, analysis and content. So this is the bulk of your points, 50 points. You can look over these later, but target audience is important. I need a short paragraph on target audience. So identifying the audiences. This will always be more than one. So no matter what video you choose, there will be more than one target audience. Do not say the entire world. Do not write that the target audience is anybody who watches the video or anybody that plays sports. If you're writing about Nike or Under Armour, that is not enough. Okay, you need to be very specific, and you need to spell out and name your target audiences. Okay, so it's not just one; it's always multiple audiences for all of these. You want to identify the rhetorical triangle, which is different than the three rhetorical appeals. The three rhetorical appeals are ethos, pathos, and logos. We are not focusing on kairos, so don't worry about kairos. You'll learn about this in your lesson this week, but the rhetorical triangle is the speaker, okay, the message, and the audience. That relates to the appeals, yes, but the appeals are not part of the rhetorical triangle. Keep that in mind. Rhetorical triangle is simply just the speaker, the audience, and the message. Okay, you can read over these when you have time, but this is a checklist. My rubrics are literally a checklist, so go over these before you submit your final draft. These are not suggestions. These are requirements, and if you use it like a checklist rubric that it is, you will increase your chances to succeed in this paper. The third section you always see as professionalism section, as I call it. So formatting, grammar, style, spelling, no typos, creative title. The entire paper is in third person. It's really important. I don't want to see any I sentences or any first person, okay? If I do, you will lose points, because you're taking an unbiased, and you're doing an unbiased analysis of this, and you can't do that if you use first person. So avoid first person for the entire paper. Really important. Only a few grammatical or spelling errors as well. Okay, moving on to the structure. This is really quickly, this is just the order and the structure of your paper. You have an introduction paragraph with your thesis at the end. Then you start your body. I want you to begin with the summary, target audience, and rhetorical triangle. Then you will move into the appeals right here, the three appeals. Then you can focus on writing about other elements like visual, sound, and any other elements that don't fit neatly in ethos, pathos, and logos. A good analysis for this paper, yes, your core will be ethos, pathos, and logos, but you will find there are some elements, production elements, so sound, music, all of that, speaker's voice, that are important, that have persuasive qualities, but they're not really clearly aligned with ethos, pathos, and logos. So you want to include those. And then weakness, I want you to identify one weakness of the speaker or the video. It can be anything, but just be specific. And that's just a short paragraph. Keep in mind, then you'll have your conclusion paragraph. Keep in mind that this is not a list of paragraphs, it's a list of sections. Your intro paragraph will be one paragraph, yes, but in the body, is what I'm referring to here. The body, you might have two paragraphs, maybe three for ethos, and then one for pathos, maybe two for logos. Then you have a couple of paragraphs about these other elements, and then you have a weakness paragraph. The point is, free yourself up to write smaller paragraphs, and you're not fitting all of ethos or all of pathos into one paragraph. Please do not do that. Okay, moving on. Media selection, media bank. This is the media bank. All of these are hyperlinks, okay? Click on any of these, it'll take you to the video and you can watch the video. I've got it segmented in the three areas: speeches, talks. So those are TED Talk speeches. Not all TED Talks, but it includes TED Talk speeches. It also includes some congressional speeches, commencement addresses, those sort of things. Ads. These are corporate ads. So brands like Nike, Apple, Samsung, IKEA, all of these are corporate ads. So big companies that have international audiences. And then the third section, these are videos that are cause related. So the Nature Conservancy is an environmental organization, advocacy charity. And then you have the Boys and Girls Clubs, which is a charity you probably heard of. And then National Park Service is a government agency. And then United Way is a charity, a nonprofit. So you have your choices here depending on what you want. You will need to take time, probably 10 minutes or so. I'm sorry. You'll need to probably watch 7 to 10 to really see which ones you want to choose. You can't make that decision without watching many of these. And so do that before you make your decision. Don't make a quick decision. Spend time watching these and seeing what you like about the video, seeing what resonates with you. And that's all for the guidelines, rubric, structure, and the media bank. Let me know if you have any questions.